Hey folks, Gary here. Happy Saturday morning to you. I hope your day is starting out just fantastic. What a great day to be alive. Every day we walk with Jesus is a fantastic day. And it's a beautiful day today. It's just awesome today. We've been talking about how God creates greatness out of barrenness. How we can look at something being really barren, but God produces life in that and makes something amazing in it. And of course we looked at Abraham and Sarah and how God fulfilled all the promises that he made to them through Isaac. Although they weren't patient for that. They tried to solve it themselves, but God had to bring a correction to that. And then ultimately Isaac was born, and God produced greatness out of the barrenness that was there. And of course, we also looked at Jesus and the Israelites being called into the wilderness. The Israelites were called into the wilderness. The Jews were called into the wilderness when they left Egypt, when God took them out of their slavery and bondage in Egypt, which that could be a form of barrenness, and took them into the wilderness where they wandered for 40 years. It took 40 years. There's a whole lot in that story, obviously, of them not trusting God when he first got them to the promised land and having to learn to trust God for the next 40 years. But in that, God provided them with manna. Every single day he provided them with bread from heaven. Why? So that they would learn to trust him. They would learn to know that he is good. He didn't bring them out to the desert to kill them. He brought them out into the desert so they would know who he is, that they could trust him and know him. And of course, Jesus was led out to the desert. We know Jesus was led out into the wilderness to be tempted, and where he fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. And he was tempted again, having to do with bread, where Satan said, hey, you're hungry, which of course he would be. Turn these stones into bread. And Jesus says, I'm not going to do that. He's not going to fall into that same trap that Sarah and Abraham fell into, where they tried to solve their own issue without God. Instead he said, no, I'm going to depend on my Father, right? My bread is the Word. My bread is him. It's trusting him. He decided he was going to trust the Father instead, that the Father was the one he was completely dependent on. So a good lesson for us when we are in our barrenness, we trust God. We trust the Father, that he will produce what needs to be produced. He will get us from here to there, which is a great lesson for us. Today I want to look at, got it here? James 1:2-4 says, count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds. That can be your barrenness, right? Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds. For you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. So what do we have? What becomes complete? How is it that we lack nothing in our barrenness? Well, I believe it's this, that in the barrenness, in those trials, right, in the trials, various trials of kinds, we learn to trust God in those times. Our relationship with God becomes developed. Our character, who we are in Jesus, becomes developed in those tough times. God's producing a greatness inside of you as you learn to trust God with everything, because God is just so good. And so it's a joy. It's a joy to learn to trust God. So that's the message for today. And we're actually going to talk about that tomorrow morning. You're invited to join us, by the way. So New Life Community Church at 10:30 here in Whitewood. We'd love to see you. Just a great group of people who love other people. And so you're invited to join us tomorrow morning. That would be our pleasure to see you. Other than that, have a fantastic day, and thank you for watching. We'll catch you later.